I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome to Andromenerds, somehow still the #1 Mass Effect podcast on the internet.
In the galaxy.
Why are you surprised by that?
Why am I surprised? I don't know. You don't listen to the shows, so that's why you're not surprised.
Well, I mean, I don't know of any other podcasts that are Mass Effect based.
I know of others, but they're like much less viewed than ours in total. Because you have like me, Minius, you, and AbilityDrain combine all those views, and it's like, wow.
God, what would happen if BioWare if they start doing a Mass Effect podcast?
That's why I'm afraid. Like we're doing T-shirts, by the way, and you guys want to put like the #1 Mass Effect podcast on the internet in the back. And I was thinking, like, man, what happens if Jennifer Hale and Mark Meir start Shepard versus Shepard? And we're totally screwed.
What happens if those...
They got their own Mass Effect podcast, Shepard versus Shepard. Come on, that'd be the coolest podcast ever.
That would be the coolest.
Or
what if like BioWare started one? I don't know. I don't think they would start one.
What if BioWare created one like after Andromeda comes out and it's like kind of behind the scenes podcast and there's kind of talking?
They do like streams and things. I don't think they'd do like a podcast. I don't know. Well, yeah.
So
that would.
My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my co-host Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hey everyone! I was seeing how far I could go until we did intros.
This is awful. Actually, it's great. This is actually kind of what I want the show to be. If you guys are unhappy with it, sorry. I think it's hilarious. And also the one and only BioFan.
I just conquered finals, and I am ready to rumble.
Sweet.
You sound excited.
Just the three of us today.
Yes.
Do you already know how well you did?
Well, grades haven't come back in, but I'm pretty sure I kicked ass.
It's important.
I want to give a quick shout out to one of the writers at Mass Effect Follower, Elwin, who he just got accepted into Dartmouth.
It's a good school.
So
I think. I've never been there.
That's good.
It's a good college.
I hear you have to have good grades to get in there.
It's like Ivy League, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
If not, it's prestigious as fuck. So.
Andromenerds post every week, Mondays at noon Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 at night in the UK, and 10 at night in South Africa. If you would like to contribute to the show with a question or topic suggestion, email us at andromenerds@gmail.com. And BioFan, I know you really wanted to talk about the latest orientation videos. First of all, how awesome are those orientation videos? I think they're really cool.
I mean, I'm enjoying them. Yeah, I wish they'd put them on YouTube instead of the website, to where I have to watch the old ones over again to be able to get to the new one. And
they are on YouTube.
I can't
they actually are on YouTube.
They're on YouTube, but they're like unlisted on the website, and it's complicated to get to. I wish they'd just like upload it properly. I can find them on YouTube. Other people grab them and upload it, but ignore me.
It's kind of interesting. The thing I actually like most about those is the fact that they have like the little informational stats. They're like, hey, click here.
Yeah, I like
for
the
that.
little like click here for more information. Like I like those, and I like how they're kind of like, I don't know, they're light and fun and not super like not super spoiler heavy, and they're just kind of they're easygoing, kind of compared to like the proper trailer.
You guys are a little bit younger than I am. Did you ever see Starship Troopers?
Yes.
You know the little informational videos, Tucker, where they're like, click here if you want to see more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit.
What I really like, though, is that it's kind of those you're in the universe kind of trailers. Like, it's not It treats you like you're in the universe, and I like that because it's awesome and it's unique.
I like the promotional nature because, quite honestly, if you're going to Andromeda, you got this crazy trip, the way it's planned, you're going to need to promote the hell out of that thing because
you're going to need to.
That's a crazy
advertise.
expedition. It's like bonkers. You're going to need to recruit like crazy, which is also why you get some lame people in there. Which we'll get to later. But so lots of actual information in this one, though.
Yeah, I'm still analyzing it. I'm working on my analysis that probably will be out by the time that you're listening to this podcast, audience.
Because we got,
But I'm still going through all of it.
because we got the
just 'cause finals.
four arcs, going to have 20,000
Yeah.
people on each of them.
Yeah. Speaking of arcs, there's been kind of this like rumor out there that what was the name of it? It's the Persero or whatever one that was like there's a picture of it with the name on it, that it's like the Turian arc or something. That hasn't been confirmed anywhere. Like there was someone that tweeted at Mac Walters and was like, "Is this the Turian arc? I noticed the name." And he was like, "Good for noticing the name," but he didn't actually confirm it was the Turian one. Granted, there's a 33% chance that it's the Turian one, but he didn't actually confirm it, and then people have been running with it, and I'm like, that's not confirmed.
Also,
but
I'm making a
okay.
connection based on previous videos that the main hub ship called the Nexus probably has 100,000 people on it, and that number I'm not pulling out of anywhere. On the, you guys probably listened to the Game
what makes you?
You guys listened to the Game Informer podcast, the very first one they did, right?
Yeah,
There was a note where they said, "Oh, I can't remember what they said, but then they pulled out the number 100,000, and they didn't know if it was every ship combined or the big ship, and it's got to be the big ship because
yeah, they keep pulling out all these things that they're not super sure on, and I'm like, guys, you need
that's
to.
what I'm going with. Dude, okay, first of all, you're all over Game Informer. Let me defend them for a bit. They cover they cover every single
Yeah, I
game.
know.
We cover one
I know.
game, and we still make mistakes. Well, at least I do.
I know, but at the same time, like, if you're gonna bring that out, maybe, make sure you know what you're talking about when you bring it
They're
out.
like juggling every game in the universe.
That, and I'm judging them so harshly because they are Game Informer. They're the one that I respect the most. They're the one that's the most on top of things and usually most accurate and most detail-oriented. So that's why I'm like, you guys are letting me down here. You know?
So did you guys notice that the ships that they're sending to the Milky Way or to Andromeda are the largest in the Milky Way galaxy?
They are?
Like bigger than the Density Ascension?
Oh, yeah, bigger than that for sure.
That's a little weird.
That was never noticed to be
No,
happening.
yeah, it's just a little weird. Like how much money do you need to throw that stuff together?
Oh, billions.
Basically, like
Probably.
you could, if you had that kind of money, you could go off and like start your own, I don't know, empire in a corner of the galaxy, because you'd have this massive spaceship and this enormous fleet and all these people. You'd be like super pirate band, but they're going off to
They
Andromeda.
wanted to explore and also continue the franchise.
I'm not gonna continue the franchise. I'm not gonna go back to this too many more times because it's dumb at
It
this
does
point.
seem very convenient.
But
I'm okay with it. It's very convenient.
There's so much to explore still in the Milky Way. Whatever. Especially with that technology now that they can pretty much recycle the static charge, so we've been talking about for a while, which I believe
Which makes me wonder when we get there if like one day we can go zoom to like another corner of Andromeda or something really fast or something.
theoretically you can go anywhere now.
Theoretically.
Because
Or maybe like the drives were only built to last so long or something, maybe.
that's true.
I don't know.
There's lots of
Yeah.
questions.
I'm sure there is a convenient detail somewhere there.
One more thing, though, that kind of leads into that is on that orientation video, most of the Nexus is being assembled in Andromeda, actually. So there's like
Yeah,
a
it's only,
lot
like-
to put together, apparently.
There's only like 1/3 of it. Like it's only one of the wings. Then they build the middle part and then other wing when they get there.
How much
if you
material
look
do they
at-
need for that?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, like
you
a
might,
lot.
You might be gathering sad material.
It's like go around. You're the Pathfinder. We need you to pick up all these minerals by hand.
Maybe that's what all the pockets are for.
And they're like, oh, now
Hand deliver us.
we're gonna make Tucker do it and make the equivalent of the
Well,
hinterlands and have him grab everything.
It does arrive before the other ships, so maybe that time that they arrive before the other ships, the Nexus is building on. So by the time we get there, it's like most of the Nexus is done.
Tucker, you think those straps on the back of the playable characters,
What, the ass flap
the
things?
ass flaps, that's for attaching lots of large rocks?
Metal ore and carrying it around.
I like it. I'm just imagining he's like putting little like animals or plants on there and like waddling back.
Anyway, that's cool. I'm looking forward to more.
What is the next one supposed to be? Because this was the Nexus. Isn't the next one vehicle overlay? Or is it?
I think you might be right. I think it might be the vehicle one.
It's either vehicle or it's colonization, which that one excites me the most.
Yeah, the colonization one I'm most excited about. Like, I don't care about any of the others. I do, but I'm like, all the others are, okay, cool. This one's like, yes, tell me about colonization.
I am really hoping it's some form of, like, Fallout, not where you build individual pieces, but you can
like
choose.
Some kind of building mechanic thing.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Have you guys ever played, like, Red Alert 2 or something like that? Like an RTS game.
I played
like
lots
Stronghold.
of RTS games, but not Red Alert 2.
Well, basically, the way that works is you have the money, and it's like, here's some options you can build, and here is a square area that you can build your buildings, and then, you choose, like, okay, I want this here, and it's a pre-set up one. You don't design how it looks, but it's like, you choose where you put it, and I would love if it is... Oh, you're putting it like by the water, so it gets more power, so it can output more. Or, this one is like this one's solar powered, so you put it where it's able to get more sun. And then the way it works in Red Alert 2, which I would also love in Mass Effect Andromeda, would be if you have this small starting area, but as you build out, you can build your buildings farther out from the starting area as long as they're somewhat close to buildings. So as you build, it expands the invisible area of where you can build other buildings. So that's how you can literally start your colonization, is you start with a small area and a small little buildings, and then you just build outward. And
I like that.
I think that sounds awesome, but man...
And there's another game that I'm thinking if they do it, it may be probably more simple. Because I feel like they're going to spend more time on the rest of the game, so if they do this, it may be more simple.
Oh, yeah.
You remember, like, way back, Assassin's Creed 2? How,
Is that way back now?
Improved...
Well, Assassin's Creed 2 was, what, 2009?
Yeah. 9? That was a while ago. I was a kid when I played that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was like 7 years ago.
So, like, you know how you, like, upgraded the shops and stuff? Like, I'm okay so long as there's, like, some degree of, like, customization. And to kind of support our thinking that it'd be cool for this to happen, something that could support that is, we know that with writers' quarters, there is some degree of customization. So that could maybe also go through to settlements to some degree. I'm hoping and wishing, because that'd be cool.
If I had to guess, I'd say the settlements are incredibly small and nowhere near as complex as you guys are speculating.
Digressing back, because I'm having a lot of fun with this.
Okay, go.
Is as you build outward, you obviously will have to build towers or something for defense. So in case, the Ket attack or whatever other animals or
a space bear comes charging through looking for someone to love.
And then, so, you have to... Okay, now this is getting a bit crazy, but you have to, like, maybe assign people...
If Tucker's thinking this is crazy, I think we all need to take a step back here.
But like, you have towers out there, and then you're going out, and it's like, oh, this settlement's under attack. And then you need to go and try to help it.
Can we not get Preston Garvey in this game? Let's not have a Preston Garvey.
Your thing just went into a wall.
Okay, so fuck the you choose where they go. You just put that and guy spawns there. But it'd be cool because then you can like really see your settlement build, and it'd be awesome because you drive away and you're nomad, you gather up a bunch of shit, you come back, and it's like as you're going over, you're like, oh, there's the settlement. You're going forward. It's like, hey, it'd be really cool to get a solar thing over to that left, or hey, an animal cage over to the right for more space bears.
Ooh,
stuff like that.
Epiphany, and this is something Tucker I don't think will know about, but in Dragon Age Inquisition, you remember how we could you can upgrade certain parts of Skyhold. And, like, there's some degree of choice of what you do, like, either have an infirmary or have, I forget what the other option was because I always chose infirmary, or, like, have, like
a plant garden?
Upgrade this, upgrade a garden this way or that way, or things like that. So maybe, and because they've already coded that process, or however you want to say it, for Frostbite, maybe they can take that and make it a billion times better for settlements in Andromeda.
You guys are.
Ooh, what if an idea for that could be, because Matt, it's all choice because BioWare, you can choose, like, you have 5 plots where you can put shit, and you have 10 options. So you have to choose what you want, and like you can have, again, just speculation, you can have multiple different colonies on the planet. So like in this colony you can have this stuff, and like in the next colony you can have 3 of the same buildings, but this one has an infirmary or a library or something.
I'm gonna go ahead and
while the other one doesn't.
These are a lot of great ideas. At some
But
point,
they're like a little far.
we need to have a show based on the dangers of overhype, because we contribute to that largely. These ideas are awesome, and almost certainly no way in the game.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's not a chance this is going to be.
If I had to guess what a settlement was, you pick one type of settlement, you make one decision, and you get one particular
I'm sure it's
bonus.
Going to be more.
I don't
I'm sure it's
know.
Gonna be more than
this
that.
game's got so much stuff going on. At some point, like how much can you handle? Like how much can you actually program in? I know they're taking their time with the game, and it's had many more years than the previous couple of Mass Effect entries. But geez, like you're talking about like entire systems that games are built off of, and adding like 7 or 8 of them.
Yes,
it's. I'm glad you admit to
mine
it.
Were a little more modest than
You're like yes.
yes, I
want you to combine GTA 5 with Skyrim and Dragon Age Inquisition and make it all one big game and have just as good as all of them.
And then I want the sex stuff, the relationship. Throw that in.
And more.
Throw Playboy the Mansion video game.
And the story writing of Game of Thrones. With the same actors and everything. Holy crap.
I would like to think that my ideas were slightly more modest than Tucker's.
I go balls to I like to go balls to the wall when it comes to my theories. Okay, so here we go. It's a game. CD Projekt Red makes the gameplay. Bethesda creates the open world. BioWare creates the story and the characters, and DICE makes the graphics and physics.
I would rather
I think you just violated like 1,001 contracts.
I would rather have Rockstar make the open world.
Are you really?
Yeah.
In Bethesda?
Yeah, I think their open worlds have more to do in them.
Yeah, but Bethesda's open worlds, I felt like were kind of.
Well, it depends on what you want. So, like the Bethesda games, it's a lot like tell your own story. So you go out and you explore the world and tell your own story, which is neat, but doesn't necessarily fit in with the other stuff. But that's actually something interesting, not quite related to.
Yeah, like I felt there was a lot of like, at least in my opinion, there was a lot of waste of space in Fallout 4. Like, why did you put this building here? It looks like the other 10 other hospitals. And I don't really want to go into this building because I don't think there's going to be anything all that cool in here because it's just like the other 10 hospitals. Cool.
I really hope Andromeda doesn't do this, but with it being open world, I really hope it isn't obvious to tell what you can do in an area when you go to it. Like for example, with Fallout or DayZ. If you're running around and you see a house and it looks like it is a cardboard box, you're like, all right, I know I can't go in that house. And you can see that from a distance. And other games have like that too. I really hope Andromeda, you don't like go to a settlement, you're looking around, and you're like, okay, well, I already know I can't do anything over there because it looks like the 17,000 other things I came across that I want to like, oh, can I do that?
You want a very like immersive environment is what you're saying.
Yeah. Which I'm sure it that's what it looks like it's going to be so far, but I hope it's not like you're 100 feet away, 300 feet away, and you're looking, you're like, I already know I can't interact with that. I'm going over here.
One thing I kind of noticed from the gameplay trailer, and this is not a representative view because, of course, we saw mainly one planet, but the explorable area looks kind of narrow, and it might be like a bunch of interconnecting paths as opposed to a wide spread out thing.
With that, with the part where we're in the Nomad, or at least the first part where we're in the Nomad, they talked about there's being areas that are pretty much designed for the Nomad, and that kind of looked like it. It looked like kind of like a road,
which makes more sense.
And it was and then at the part where we were in that big battle scene, the largest battle scene, there were several different paths. Like you were kind of in like a clearing, and there's a path over that way. There's a cave over there. There's a path that goes up that way towards what was probably a remnant vault. There's a path that goes the other way. Like there were several different paths. So
Yeah, like an interconnected web of explorable areas, as opposed to the Bethesda, you can go in any direction type thing, which they put most of their effort into that, which is awesome, and it's its own game, but also probably contributes to how buggy those games are in general.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much in there. I don't know. You can only do so many things in a game unless you have an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of resources. And I'm pretty sure that they don't for this new Mass Effect game. There are only a couple of games that can pull it off.
Yeah, I definitely think that Colonization note's getting all of our attention.
This is getting all of your attention.
Well,
Me and Tucker like building things, okay?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm not saying it's not awesome. I'm just saying that this is going to be the most complex game of all time if we were running it. You know how we're saying like,
well, I mean,
this game's not coming out in spring, guys. So until we get in control of it, it's coming out in 2050.
It's coming out in 2037.
Yeah, you're all going to be dead.
Push it to 50.
Now, see, the thing with game design is you create like the ideas that I was saying. Like you come up with those ideas, and then you go, all right, what can we actually do now? Like scale back from those ideas, but still keep them going.
Are you capable of scaling back?
Oh yeah. I've worked on a few games. I've had to have.
I just only know you from the podcast, so
his personality doesn't seem like scale backable, is what you're saying.
It's either scale back or I'm staying up until 5 a.m. to get that thing working.
Yeah, I can see you staying up until 5 instead. I don't know.
So something I feel like we should talk about, because we started talking about it before we started recording and it got very passionately heated. In our outline.
Was it passionate? Go ahead. Sorry.
I will make it passionate. I will do that. I will fight on whatever the other side is.
I love how the audience doesn't know what we're talking about, so it sounds like something totally different.
I don't even know exactly what we're talking about.
On the outline for our topic points, Minius wrote, "Have Quarians become Bigfoot?"
Outline?
The reason I'm saying, like, I mean, you guys probably get this too. Every couple days, someone says, "Look, I saw a Quarian," and you're like, "Okay,
yes, that was a Quarian.
Like,
I will do this."
Oh, I'm like, okay, you may have seen a Quarian. Let's go look at that. No, that's a Solarian. I'm sorry.
That's
something else. And at this point,
no, that's a plant.
Someone's gonna see a real Quarian, and I'm gonna ignore them because I'm so like, listen, man, it's not a Quarian.
People want their freaking Quarians, okay? I get at least 10 comments an hour on freaking
It's like
Quarians.
Reyes, the Latin guy who was going to be a Quarian no matter what. A Quarian named Reyes who has a Latin accent.
Yeah.
Like you.
I mean, it could be a Quarian because I mean, Quarians are the best with technology. They made the Geth, so it would make sense to have some of the Quarians on the Nexus.
I'm not saying that's wrong.
They're so self-involved in their culture, though. Like their main goal of their people is to get their homeworld back. Why would they want to be like, oh, let's just go to a new galaxy, abandon totally what our people are about, unless they're like outlaw Quarian or like rogue Quarian or like, I don't know.
Well,
outcasts.
What about going on their pilgrimage? That could be some of the pilgrimages.
They're not gonna come
remember,
back.
Remember, this is the idea.
The point is that they come back.
Or remember, the idea of the Andromeda Initiative was to go to Andromeda, find materials and things like that, and send it back. So they could be using the pilgrimage as, I will try to find something in Andromeda that could fix our shit.
Tucker, you're looking for Bigfoot, dude. You're like, oh, look, what if Bigfoot had a time travel machine and could go back and forth between the Quarian fleet?
I'm shipping it.
First of all, here's something that's interesting, and based on the quotes that they're saying, I think at this point, like, we're talking about, are the Quarians going to be in the game, or are they not going to be in the game? I think they're absolutely going to be in the game at this point.
Oh yeah,
they can't.
The way
they're talking about
the devs,
it. They're like
the way the devs are going. Well, like, you'll find out later, or things like that. Like, you'll find out what races are there or not. But they've said no to certain races.
Yeah, so at this point, they're like, oh, we'll talk about that later, or I can't get into that now. So if
maybe the Quarians just aren't polished enough.
Well, isn't that the same thing they did with Turians? Didn't they say, like, you'll find out later?
Maybe, but The problem is, like, you can't troll the fan base like that. And so, like 1 month before game is like, oh, there are no Quarians. Ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? If there was bad news, you got to get that out of the way.
The one thing that a lot of people have brought up is that there is a person in the Ark and Nexus trailer that is kind of far off and in a crowd and looks a whole lot like a Quarian.
Could be a Quarian,
but
yeah.
very vaguely and fuzzily and far off and hard to look at in good
Just
detail.
like Bigfoot.
Like Bigfoot.
Yes.
You're like, oh, look at that Bigfoot guy. Like, no, that's
a
human.
blurry ass picture. It really is.
Like you can't really get good quality detail on that. But Tucker, I think you had a thought that me and Minius were against, so we'll just let you go first.
Wait, what?
You were on if you thought that was a Quarian.
Wait, Tucker has thoughts that we're against?
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, it could be just a mistake that when they were, because it looks like it's concept art, so it could be they had concept art and then they forgot that, or didn't forget, but they didn't realize that when they were doing the concept art that they had a Quarian in it.
It's not just concept art. It's like in engine.
I don't know if it is BioFan.
All right. Well, it could have just been a mistake
of
someone going through and it slipped through analysts.
The stuff in that Ark and Nexus thing does not look in engine, and it even says it's not gameplay. So
whatever
it's not
it is,
gameplay, but it might be in
but
engine.
it could be a slip through.
It
may have been like
slip.
oh shit.
It could be a slip. It could be a fucking human with a veil on. I mean, like,
what I'm
gonna
say
guys.
is that everything they put out goes through so many different people, and that they know exactly what they're putting in there, and they have like 50 bazillion meetings about it to get it approved before it goes out in there publicly. So I strongly doubt that it just slipped by.
I'll tell you what's.
And if they were to show Quarians, I don't feel like they'd stick one in the background somewhere. They'd want to advertise it. They'd be like, look, Quarians are in the game, not
at this point
hunt for the Quarian in the background.
At this point, I think someone that's putting out this stuff is having a ton of fun with how much people are looking for Quarians and seeing them all over the place. Because I'm having fun with it.
What if that's done purposely to see if fans will notice and pick that up?
I think it could be.
Because they haven't said anything. They haven't said, oh, no, that's not a Quarian or that is a Quarian.
With things that they
hide
hide like that, they do things that aren't quite as big as that. I don't think they would do that. Just from my experience of analyzing BioWare trailers over the years, that's not something they've usually done. They're usually, with something like the Quarians, they would probably advertise it instead of sticking one in the background.
I've got a prediction here. And you guys can go. I think we're getting a Quarian male squad mate. I think a straight up Quarian male squad mate.
All right,
I have a theory on the squad mate situation.
I'm unsure, but Quarians are. I'm going with Quarians in Andromeda. I think I did that before.
That one's pretty simpler. At this point, like the way that they're talking and the way that things have gone, I'm guessing Quarian male squad mate because there is no reason to keep a lid on the Quarians unless you want some kind of big fantastic reveal of, hey, check it out, there's Quarians, and here's what do people want most. I mean, a lot of people want another female, but no new Quarian male squad mate. Here you go. And then we're going to look, woo!
If they do another female, it'll be too easy to associate with Tally, and then people will be let down because it's not
Which
Tally.
Which is why you have your
Tally,
Vetra Garrus, not Garrus.
Yeah.
And you'd have a male
what about
Asari.
the Krogan? Drac. Well, what about Drac being a male Krogan?
Yeah, but everyone loves the male Krogan too much because they're always...
Yeah, but we've already done that with Rex and Grunt, so it works.
Besides, there's a female
you just said it wouldn't
character.
work with the Quarian.
No, it'd work fine.
Yeah, because it would be fine, but like a lot of people would be like, "Oh, this isn't Tally." You know, the people that haven't paid attention are like expecting another Tally, even though
I guess I understand what you're saying, Tucker. I've just never heard anyone really interested in banging a Krogan before.
Well, obviously you haven't seen the full internet.
There's a ton of people that want to romance Krogan in my feeds.
Ton or
there's
some?
There's a ton of people,
but comparatively to Quarians or Turians.
Oh yeah, comparatively to Quarians,
it's a small amount.
But they're very vocal.
Again, there's going to be 7 squad mates. We have 2 humans, a Turian, a Krogan, and a Asari. So there's 2 possible alien races, and we do know that some of them are going to be from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Go with one.
Tucker.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
They confirmed that there was one squad mate that was cut, and considering that 7 number comes from the original old survey, it's probably now 6. And so that leaves literally 1 spot left open, so I'm guessing it's for a new race. So I'm going to say that the whole male Quarian squad mate idea that you guys are coming up with is not going to happen.
I didn't
it
come
may
up
have
with it. I
been,
was saying no.
but
I think they're going to uncut it and put a Quarian male squad mate.
What if the male Quarian was this cut squad mate?
unless that 7 number increased by a few numbers and then was cut down by 1. That's also another possibility. But I'm just saying that there was one squad mate that was cut.
I'm going Quarian male squad mate, which is kind of against what I've been saying before because I wasn't so sure. But at this point, the fact that they're A, not saying no to Quarians, and B, trying to hide them kind of makes me think there's a reveal coming up with a major Quarian character who I think is male, which is why I'm going with squad mate.
You, sir, are coming up with some crazy theories.
See, here's the thing, though, Tucker. I use fucking logic. You pull stuff out of your ass.
That is the pot causing the kettle
You're just
black
like
right there.
You're just like, huh? What if the female Turian is actually a Wookiee who plays chess? And like, where did you get that from? I came up with a theory and gave you ideas and logic and stuff that's backing me, and you pull shit out of your ass.
I do pull shit.
I have a additional theory to blob onto Minius's theory. So we know that there's one, quote, guy, so that it could be a guy or it could be just guy in general, gender-neutral version of guy, that came along with the Andromeda Initiative against their will. So, like, they didn't choose to come. I'm wondering if maybe that could be, like, that sounds to me like a pretty important character. So I'm wondering if that could be like a squad mate. It sounds like a perfect squad mate situation to me.
That poor bastard.
So I'm gonna maybe our male Quarian was the one that came against their will. It's like, we need a Quarian tech expert.
You just knock him out and put him in the freezer? I mean, how do you do this?
Sedate them, then throw them in the freezer.
You wake up, you're like, oh, I can't wait to go to that date I had. You're like, oh, shit.
Oh, God.
A, you're 600 years late, and B, you're 2.5 million light years away.
Oh, man, it's my mother's birthday today. I can't wait to wish her a happy birthday.
Huh? Yeah.
Where are we?
You're in Andromeda. Here's this funny-looking turtle that's going to say hi to you.
That'd be awesome. You're waking up like, this isn't my bed.
It's so messed up. It's so messed up.
I love it, like, with Ryder waking up saying, oh, we're here, and, like, you see people waking up, you hear one guy in the background, motherfucker! I was supposed to be here.
You're like, oh, we made it. You're like, oh, sweet. We got to the next planet. No, dude, we went a galaxy away. You're never seeing your home again.
See, we accidentally took this right, and we kept on going. We missed the exit.
Missed the exit. 600 years
exit
later.
by a few hundred years.
Anyway, yeah, there's something weird going on with Quarians. That's my point. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. You can also email us questions and stuff at andromenerds@gmail.com.
People have very passionate feelings about the Quarians.
I know. Yeah. I think actually,
very passionate.
If you were going to pick a species that people were the most passionate about in the match, you think so? I think it's Quarians, hands down.
Oh, yeah. Turians. Definitely Turians.
I'm thinking Quarians.
Those ladies love them Garrus. And
I'm going
ladies too.
Volus?
People love the Garrus.
I mean,
people need their calibrations, okay, Minius? People need their damn calibrations and, whatnot.
I mean, I got a Tali statue right here, but
yeah, it's people love the Quarians. I don't know.
People love the Quarians, but between Quarians and Turians, I think there are more Turian fans.
I think we just got our first ever show poll topic.
Wasn't I'm remembering from every poll that I've seen, Tali got more romance than Garrus.
I believe so too. So here's what's going to happen.
I believe so.
Check our Twitter feeds when this launches, and there's going to be a poll up. Which race are Mass Effect fans more passionate about, Turians or Quarians? Please vote.
Can I throw an Elcor?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Sweet.
Yes, you can.
We each pick a race, and you know which one Tucker picked because it's dumb.
Okay, so speaking of dumb, and digressing back, you know how you said that I have some crazy theories?
Yeah, I remember saying that vaguely.
One that I was thinking about.
Why do I feel worried now?
One that I was thinking about. I was awake at like 3 a.m.
Why do I feel more worried now?
Something I was thinking about is how how it takes, and this is not like a theory that I'd be serious about stuff, but just something I was thinking about was, okay, so it takes a few hundred years to get to Andromeda and everything like that. What if while we're going there, because they said like other races might make it in the future DLC, and I was wondering how would
future
that work?
Might not necessarily be DLC, but just in the future, they've narratively left it open to where
Wait,
other races
Tucker,
can have gone
was
with
that your
us.
pondering?
No.
Okay,
but
you're
what
not
I
done
was
yet.
wondering
Okay.
was,
I was going to say
what
that was
if
entirely reasonable.
Somehow going to Andromeda, they go through some kind of wormhole or something like that, and they end up. It's like 400 years, but time-wise, 400 years didn't really pass. Like they entered like a wormhole, something like that, sent back in the past, and that got them there. And that's how
it's
other
confirmed
races
on
are
how
able to...
long it takes to get there, though.
No,
Oh yeah, no. I
600
mean,
years.
it could take 400 years to get there, but
you go
know,
through a
it's like
time hole that sends you back
yeah, it's
400
like
years.
it's like 2100, but they go there and they hit like some kind of time warp, and it goes back to the 1800s. And sure, they'll get there in 2200. That's still 400 years. But,
Tucker, the year necessarily doesn't really matter in this case anymore.
Well,
no,
no, I hear what Tucker's saying, and I could.
Yeah.
Why were they making this more complicated?
And then that also added to something I was thinking is like, what if the Andromeda galaxy is like somehow in the past, and
it's older.
And like, so when we get there, a lot of the races aren't as advanced, and that might be why we can communicate and get to agree on them easily.
I have so much I want to say, but
just
it's
like how we
so
did with
much.
Japan, how like we put gunships outside Japan when they closed themselves for 200 years, and they're like, what is that thing?
Okay, so
Like,
Tucker,
what if-
every
what if that
50,000
happened?
years, the Milky Way galaxy was wiped out and refreshed, and they got that level advanced. So but new life springs up on planets and stuff in 50,000 years and whatnot. So you get a probably cornucopia of different levels of advancement in Andromeda.
Yeah, it gets
All right.
and besides, you got the remnant, no longer there, ridiculously advanced, probably more advanced
Supposedly.
than the.
Okay, so
I guess supposedly. Yeah, I guess they
I
may
don't
not
know,
exist.
That was just one of those weird theories I was thinking about, and I was partway through thinking, I'm like, why am I thinking that?
I don't know, man. That I like how you think it doesn't make sense because that's one of your more logical theories.
Really? That
Yeah.
on the way to Andromeda, you enter the past.
Yeah, at this point, like compared to what your
That's
other
not
stuff.
how light speed works.
How do you know how
I'm
light
just
speed
saying
works? It's fictional at this point.
I mean, they could pull like one of those interstellar things, enter a wrong dimension, and go into the past somehow, messing with that, and then that could mess with the ending of Mass Effect 3. There we go. Boom.
Oh wow!
New ending. New ending.
New
to Mass
ending
Effect
for
3.
Mass Effect 3. We're gonna go there.
Wow. You just
Okay. How do we
Wow.
segue?
Have you guys ever ridden a Segway?
Oh no! I want that to be the blooper. But I think I'm gonna keep it in the actual show.
Oh. I mean, hold on, Minius. He may outdo himself, so...
I'm having a lot of fun. The food that I ate before this was chicken wrapped in bacon with like cream cheese stuffed in it.
So you eat something super unhealthy and you turn into a maniac on a show.
No. I'm just having a lot of fun. Also, I just got off the interview with Tom Taylorson.
Woo!
Oh, okay, so he's on he's on a high. Okay.
Which Tom Taylorson said that he very much enjoyed hearing the voice roles of PB, and he loved the script for Liam's lines.
Cool.
That he was very interested. But overall, he said that his absolute favorite was Sarah Ryder, because it's kind of
Interesting.
unique in the scripts of the Mass Effect trilogy. You could choose either male Shepard or female Shepard.
But now you're
And-
choosing between which sibling
Yeah,
is
with this
the
you
hero
choose-
and which one is also just kind of there.
Yeah,
to
so
some degree.
there's more unique dialogue between them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was very interesting.
Okay, BioFan, do you actually want to talk on the Inquisition in space thing?
So let me give my piece. So we have a crafting system that looks kind of similar to Inquisition and Andromeda. We have the gathering of the materials that looks kind of similar to Dragon Age Inquisition. The dialogue wheel is reminiscent of kind of closer to Dragon Age,
Maybe.
but that's not Maybe.
Maybe.
It has the symbols, kind of, but I mean, that's one of the lesser things. But you have the enemy bases similar to the keeps in Dragon Age
Although
Inquisition that you
that's
take
also
over.
Mass Effect 1-ish.
But you don't
Based on what we've seen,
you don't take them over so much in Mass Effect 1, though.
if
you just,
if
like,
we
clear
see
them
that.
out.
I see. You're talking about from the article stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about just all the stuff. Just all the things we know. There's, like, the enemy-based things that you take over. There's the camps / forward station / outposts that I don't know what the official name for them is quite yet, because different sources call them different things. But, like, those, basically the camps in Inquisition, things like that all seem similar to Inquisition. I'm okay with it so long as A, it's done well, and B, there's enough main story content to balance out the non-main story content, like the exploration and whatnot. I'm fine with that. And also, like, their response to that is, like, Inquisition won Game of the Year. So obviously, like, implementing those things in may not be a bad thing. And in terms of implementing those things, BioWare had to create a lot of RPG elements with the engine because Frostbite hadn't really done RPGs yet. So they had to make a lot of those stuff to make an RPG. So they, I guess, probably just pulled in some of that stuff to maybe, since they already made it. So I'm okay with it so long as it's done well and there's enough main story content, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think the one
like,
thing, and this is the biggest point I made in my video, and I don't know if I did a good enough job with that, is that the gameplay is going to be wildly different, the combat. So at its core, it's gonna feel very different. And all those other things that are like Inquisition, I loved a lot of the ideas in Inquisition. A lot of the art, like I love most of it except for the combat. I wasn't so into the combat, so seeing that with a new combat system actually has me pretty excited. And I don't think it's too similar in that way because the majority of the game, you're going to be taking on enemies, and that's a bit different. So at its core, it's going to be different, but with a structure that's similar. I'm totally cool with the direction they're going with. Of course, we have to actually play the game, and your complaint about having actual story content with these side missions and stuff, as opposed to being like real. Going around and like, check it out, it's a landmark. You're like, that's not a landmark, that's a staircase.
So the Morden Collector's plush is now available.
Woo!
Sweet.
And he sings songs when you press his seashell.
No, not his seashell, when you press his Ami tool thing, but you can't put a seashell on him.
Still great.
So I was looking at because Dragon Age Inquisition came out 2014, and looking at the other games of the year, that was not a great year for games.
Yeah, it was really not. It's probably, they wanted to kind of spend more time on it, I think, but they were like, let's get it out this year since there's not going to be a lot of great games in order to win all those awards, probably, I think is what ended up happening. Because they didn't want to compete with The Witcher 3 that was coming out the next year, which is also a medieval RPG. So I don't think they wanted to compete
I guess so,
for
yeah.
awards.
Yeah, I'm looking at all these games like, I don't...
Because when Inquisition first came out, it was buggy as hell. So it took like a good 3 patches before I was like, this is what should have been shipped. So I think they released it a little earlier than they should have so they could get a lot of awards and press from those awards to sell more of their game. So
although if a game's too buggy, it's not going to win awards. So
I mean, it was at like a level that it was like good enough, but at the same time like still hella buggy.
Hopefully, I mean, based on this Mass Effect, it's not going to have that issue. Given how long it's taken to come out.
Yeah, and they've already said they're already working on the like deeper polishing stages. So I think it's pretty good when it releases, I think is what will happen.
Yeah, there were some
which they need after the Mass Effect 3 fiasco.
There's some really good tiny games from 2014, but anyway, that's a digression. Boy, I'm still slightly worried about the release date thing, only because
they keep saying they're confident on the spring thing. Minius is what we're hearing right now.
I believe that
from everything I've heard, that it's all polishing now, all balancing and making sure everything is balanced out.
Basically, I'm not in the same boat as a lot of people. A lot of people really dislike EA. and that's interesting. I love how they won like worst company in the world or whatever, like 2 years in a row. Isn't that bonkers?
The golden poo.
Is that what it was? Like there are like companies that strangle kids in the rainforest, and EA won it because they put a fucking like whatever. Anyway, my point is that like I don't hate
perspective.
Yeah, I don't hate EA anywhere near as much. In fact, I don't even hate them at all because compared to like Activision and Ubisoft, I think they make the best games. I really do. I think they actually try to make interesting games.
Isn't Ubisoft in the middle of like getting bought out or something?
It's possible. Yeah, I don't know enough about. I don't actually like a lot of Ubisoft games.
That and a lot of the hate towards EA comes from things that previous leadership did. A lot of it comes from like buying companies that made really good games and then transforming them into something they weren't, and then eventually they die. And so I'm thinking...
Although Activision's done that too.
Yeah, but, EA got rid of Westworld, which, red alert. That's a good game.
Yeah, well...
I thought you were talking about that TV show. I was like, Westworld, what?
The thing that's got me concerned
Westwood.
is
Westwood.
you guys play...
Oh, Westwood. I thought you said Westworld. Okay.
No.
Do you guys play any of Titanfall 2?
No, I played the beta, did not like it.
Okay.
Not at all.
There are a lot of people who don't like it, a lot of people who do like it. I don't know if it's a great game necessarily, but man, did that game get screwed. They dropped the release date right in between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and the game got crushed. Got absolutely crushed.
Battlefield 1 is still a lot of fun, though. I've been playing that a decent amount with my friends.
But yeah, the point is, though, that like that's a game that absolutely should have done better than it does. It was discounted 50% in stores like 2 or 3 weeks after it came out, which is based off of an EA decision to put it out at a certain time, and that's what's got me a little worried, is the potential to put up a game like Mass Effect and push it to the fall and put it up against something like, I don't know, Red Dead or something crazy, just because it's a big title like Mass Effect, and I don't think that Mass Effect has the weight that it did pre-Mass Effect 3. You need breathing space. That's what I'm just kind of worried about where EA launches this game. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
I was going to say, like, I am extremely excited for Mass Effect Andromeda. Obviously, we all are. But, if they try to compete with Red Dead Redemption,
it wouldn't be best for the sales. Basically. So you'd be competing against another game that has a huge fan base.
You can see the thinking here, though, is
Spring would be good because so far, what I can tell from what I've looked up, there's no other really, really big titles releasing in spring of 2017 yet.
Yes.
So I'm thinking,
but also
that is a
spring
good
titles
time.
don't sell as well as fall titles, and you can
really?
You can see yourself sitting in your big executive chair saying, we've got this title with this big franchise. Let's put it out in the fall. That's kind of like, I'm looking at it from a big corporate standpoint of when this game's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
Well, it could pull a Jaws-like thing, which...
What do you mean,
what?
Jaws?
If you know it...
Like the movie?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. You know what Jaws did, right?
I wasn't alive
No.
then, and neither were you. How do you know this?
I work at a movie theater, so I research movie stuff.
He
'cause
knows
I have no
movie
life.
things.
Okay.
I have no life. Anywho, what Jaws did was it was planned, or it wasn't, unlike Andromeda, Jaws was not going to be a success. So they put it in a time when it wasn't going to do well, which was in the summer. Because back then, summer movies didn't do well. It was the winter and everything like that. And then Jaws became absolutely huge because it had no competitors at that time, and just because of how well it was.
There you go.
I feel like Andromeda could pull the same thing. It'll go out in spring when there's no other competitors. It is a decently well hyped up game.
It's a
but
AAA
no
title.
competitors. Yeah. That's when I would want to release a game. Is when there are no competitors around.
If
Yeah.
I was in charge of this, I would agree with you guys, but I'm not in charge, which is my point.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of obvious that you obviously don't want to go against competitors, but don't be afraid to go against other AAAs as well, AAA games as well. Because Halo Wars 2, that's going to be released in February, but that shouldn't scare them off because that's an RTS. Like what you're saying with Titanfall, with Battlefield 1, and Call of Duty, all of those are FPS games. So
And
they are
Red
all
Dead is an
competitors.
RPG, but it is a significantly different theme.
It's an open
versus,
world third-person RPG game, which
Yeah.
that could pull away from Mass Effect Andromeda. Which
though
is
it is a
third
Western
world,
style versus like sci-fi. So in
although
terms of, like,
Mass Effect Andromeda's got a little bit of a Western feel.
Well, I
little
mean,
bit.
what about Battlefield 1 taking place in World War 1 and Titanfall 2 taking place in the future and Advanced Warfare taking place at some time, because I never cared to look up about that
It's
game.
the future.
So,
They're in space.
yeah. Yeah, so it could be the same difference as that, but you see what it did.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
And anyway, that's my worry. It has nothing to do with when the game is actually going to be ready. It has to do with an executive trying to make a decision to maximize profits that might actually backfire. Because I'm super unhappy with the way Titanfall 2 was handled, like really really unhappy. That game should do so much better. It may not get a sequel now at this point, based on that one decision.
Yeah.
That's my worry. I wanted to go off on that a little bit.
So, should we move to the T-shirt update?
Yeah, T-shirts.
Okay, so me and my T-shirts or your T-shirts?
I don't know. Which T-shirts are we talking about?
Everyone's T-shirts.
All the T-shirts.
Look under your chair, everyone.
Look under
You get a free T-shirt.
Hey,
So,
hold on.
AbilityDrain-
Don't pause the show and look under your T-shirt. Like,
Yeah, man, the comments last
well,
week
I mean,
of
I
pausing the video because a certain thing was said, Minius.
what? Oh, you're gonna blame me? You notice how like in that
really?
segment, like I went dead silent. You know why? I was
you
scrambling for
didn't
looking
stop
for that
me.
thing. I'm like, holy shit! How did I miss that?
I was like, how did I miss
I
this?
was like,
me and
honestly-
AbilityDrain were looking. I'm like, weird. And he's like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm like, die in a hole, Tucker.
You guys, obviously, you guys couldn't see me, but I was sitting
Oh.
there with a smile on my
yeah,
face.
we could see it. We didn't need to be there.
And I played it
You
off
don't
so...
need-
I played it off
It's
so
one
naturally,
thing
too.
to
I'm just talking.
victimize us. It's another thing to victimize them, Tucker.
But
Our
I
loyal,
played it off
wonderful,
so
beautiful
naturally.
listeners.
Oh yeah,
dare
like
you.
the gameplay and the multiplayer, those are awesome. Like I just played that off, and I didn't even re-say the multiplayer. I just let that go, and then Minius started talking about BioFan and went, "What, multiplayer?"
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't look under your shirt. But we are going to talk about T-shirts for a while.
look under
Don't look
your
under your
shirt.
shirt. What is under your shirt, everybody? I have more hair on my chest than I want.
Let us know in the
Let
comments.
us know in the comment section below.
Don't let us.
So,
That'd
should
be
I
weird.
start? Because I think mine will be shorter.
I think you better go before we get too
Okay,
far off track.
so AbilityDrain and I did a T-shirt giveaway contest thing where you sent in jokes and whatnot. It's all closed. She, for some reason, couldn't make it to the podcast for this episode, so we're going to delay it to the next time she's here. We're going to read off jokes. We've already picked the top 10. We're going to read off jokes and then pick the top 4 from there.
I got a Mass Effect joke.
For a Mass Effect joke,
Knock, knock.
yes. It's on theme with the... Not... Okay.
Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
So we're waiting...
there?
We're
Tucker.
waiting for the next one. So, yeah.
Actually, it was supposed to be
Minius, you go.
Tucker is
I wanna know-
who's there.
I want to know who's there.
It's supposed to. BioFan was supposed to ask who's there, and I was going to say Tucker, and he's going to Tucker who, and I was going to go off on you being a piece of shit. Didn't quite come off, but
Apparently, I'm at the door. I didn't know.
it did not work at all.
I was rocketing through my spiel, and then you asked a question in the middle, and I was disregarding it, thinking you were having a side conversation with Tucker, but whatever.
And I kind of was. So next week on the show, hopefully, we'll get into the joke segment stuff.
Should we say who's on?
No,
Next week's
surprise guest
episode?
next
No?
week. That's not a
Surprise guest! Yeah!
Boom. Yeah, the other T-shirt thing that we were talking about is the Andromenerds T-shirts, and I was like, hey, let's go put out Andromenerds T-shirts, and then all three of you guys were like, dude, we need to test these T-shirts and
Yeah,
make
let's
sure
test
they're
them
not
and make
poop.
sure they're like...
How do you
So,
test
yeah.
a T-shirt?
By putting it on.
What I'm
Alright.
gonna do is I'm gonna
Simple
put
enough.
it in my washing machine like 5 times on like super duper hot and make sure it doesn't like peel off or discolor or anything.
I don't know how many
pretty smart.
options we really have for putting out T-shirts, but anyway, yeah, T-shirts
We're
are
just gonna make
coming.
sure they're good quality.
Yeah,
you
make
know?
sure they don't suck. That's basically the delay.
We should probably do a giveaway of that.
I think we should too.
That would be an awesome giveaway. Yeah.
We should probably do that on Andromeda Nerds.
Whoa, future Andromenerds giveaway on the way. coming spring
God,
2017.
I just realized that would be the 4th giveaway. The first one was my channel, second one was Minius, third one was BioFan and AbilityDrain, which you can count that as.
Is in
and
the
then
process.
The final one is everyone together.
Final?
Woo!
Final? No, we're going to give away lots
Who
of stuff.
said it was the final one?
Okay, well, the
Fourth
most recent is all of us together. Look at that.
Woo!
We're working together.
So what is this IGN in January?
It looks like
IGN first.
Yeah, IGN first. So Andromeda is going to be IGN first on. So we're gonna get a bunch more Andromeda stuff in January.
For those that don't know what it means, what is an IGN first?
It's kind of like Game Informer's thing where they had a
Yeah.
game of the month and they just focus it. So it's a bunch of
Basically,
exclusive
IGN
stuff
is
with
getting
AGN.
exclusive information.
I don't know that stuff's normally good. You seem to hate these companies because they don't live up to your standards. Oh no, they added an H.
Game Informer does a decent job. IGN, seriously,
They added an
like
H. It's
just
horrible.
they just
IGNH.com.
and like when you contradict previous things you yourself have done as a company and put out, it's just
It's a big company with a lot of people that don't always know exactly
I
what
know,
everyone's
but
doing.
like when you previously have details put out about something you wrote about a game and then you contradict that directly with no research behind it, and it's just like if you're gonna say something, be confident with what you're saying, not just throw shit out
So
there.
anyway, Tucker's going to get super
Journalism!
annoyed with all this new information that's coming out.
What'd I do?
It's going to be. Did I say Tucker? Holy shit! I am like anything that goes negative, I associate with you. BioFan's going to get annoyed with with everything on IGN. But anyway, more stuff coming in January, probably.
I heard my name.
Yes. Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal.
Kelly, what's up? How's it going? How you doing?
Okay, we have questions, right, Tucker?
All right. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Let's see. Kira Storm asks, if we
That's an
romance,
awesome
do you
name.
think it'll be like an actual relationship or just sex, maybe once or twice?
Every relationship is different.
I think kind of what they said is that you have options for both, right? Depending on the character.
Oh, wow.
You-
Really?
Like
Yeah.
every relationship is unique. Like if you like this person isn't going to have the same arc as that person. Like every romance option kind of has their own different thing going on according to who that person is. So it's going to be more natural, organic, and whatnot. And it's not going to be like, oh, at this point in the game you have this kind of scene, or maybe it'll be like that, but the scenes will be pretty different. But it'll be like this relationship works this way, that relationship works that way, according to who that person is. You know?
That is what they're teasing.
Are
We'll
you
see
ready
if
for
they
this?
pull it off. No, I'm not ready.
Yeah,
but
we'll
go
see
ahead.
we'll see how well they do. Yeah.
All right, so if you romance someone in Mass Effect Andromeda, and then in this whatever the sequel for Andromeda will be that has the characters in it, if you continue that romance, you can marry the person. Marriage.
I mean, they've done it before in Dragon Age.
Oh, did they?
Well, not like going forward, but like in the game they've done marriage. But the thing is, we don't know that Ryder's going to be the protagonist in the 5th Mass Effect
Well,
game.
that's why I was saying whatever the next one is that is of Andromeda. Like, that includes the characters.
Mass Effect Andromeda 2, the Andromedan.
There's going to be another one in Andromeda, very likely, but it may be a different protagonist.
It shouldn't be. We can.
I don't know. I'm open to it.
Yeah, well,
I'm open to it.
Maybe that's a good topic for next week.
Okay.
But yeah, that based on what they're saying, you'll have options for both of those in romances. We'll see if they can pull it off.
All right, this one we've kind of talked about before, but Jay Thomas asks, of the companions that we've seen or heard about so far, who are you the most excited to learn more about?
My homegirl Peebs.
Yeah, I was going to go
PB.
PB and
PB.
Drac.
I want to know more about Cora because I'm really fucking tired of not knowing what she looks like.
I don't know about you guys, but human squad mates, that doesn't interest me.
It's a lot of people feel that way. It's just
I
that
typically romance the humans. Typically,
I believe
so,
Cora is the very first squad mate I heard about. Way back last year in the Reddit leak.
Yeah, wasn't Cora the
first one
rumor?
mentioned?
It was Cora and Drac.
I feel like it's 2 years now.
And I'm really irritated that I don't know more.
It was Cora and Drac that were the rumored.
They
were the very first
It's been
ones.
almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we know that
Or-
she's
or
human, so
more.
how different can she look?
I don't
Like,
know.
how-
I figure that should be happening now.
like Vetra, for example. If they kept Vetra, if they were like, Vetra is a secret, and we knew it was a Turian, a female Turian, but we wouldn't really know what she looked like because it's a female Turian. We've only seen one of them.
No, we've seen 2.
Okay, so we've seen 2 of them. But it's but still, it's a human. We know what the humans look like. We've seen thousands of them in the Mass Effect. While a female Turian, we've only seen 2 of. So that would be more of like, what do you think she look like? Do you think she have scars? In which, Cora could have some scars, so could Liam.
The aliens look more similar than the humans do, though. Humans have more genetic diversity than any of the Mass Effect races, which is convenient. But they're not like that different in appearance.
Or what if they say like the female Krogan, like the female Krogan?
Well, yeah, female Krogan, like ones that we've barely seen or have had their faces totally covered up.
Yeah.
Like, versus female Turians all kind of look the same. We've seen one in the comics. We've seen a few in the games. We've seen a few in Andromeda now, and they all kind of...
Female Solarians look exactly like the males, according to the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They just have lots of robes on.
I'm hoping they change that up a little bit. The only female Solarian we saw in the game was the, Dalatras, right? So, and Dalatras is pretty covered up, so maybe...
one of the councilwoman, if you kill him off, is female, I believe.
Okay, so that one was pretty covered up as well, so maybe they have some kind of extra thing that we didn't see that, I don't know. But yeah, they look pretty darn similar. I'd like there to be some kind of...
Don't the Solarians give birth to eggs?
I forget if they have eggs, but they have multiple...
They
have broods.
I don't believe birth is the way to do it. It's,
Yeah.
It's
like they have multiples.
It's a fish fertilization thing going on.
I think it's like 1 out of 10 is female and the rest are males or something.
That's
so the males are all kind of like the workers and people and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like the females.
That's an artificial control. It's actually quite complicated and interesting. And I'll have a lore video on that if you want to see it.
Well, we have a lore video on that too.
I bet you my lore video is super awesome.
Okay.
I haven't actually seen the other lore video.
How about people go watch both and compare?
New Andromenerds poll.
All right, so Cowher says, if you were allowed to make a new biotic, tech, or combat power for Mass Effect Andromeda, what would you do?
Biotic tornado.
Biotic tornado. How would that work?
Like
you spin around with biotic-y energy stuff, and it like lashes out at enemies. Think of like that biotic lash attack that was in the DLC for Mass Effect 3 with Arya's abilities. That like biotic like lash ability, but like swoop like lasso-y kind of biotic lasso. There we go. I'm picking biotic lasso. That would be cool.
I was thinking that you meant like the opposite of a singularity, where instead it would like spin around and toss everybody outwards instead of inwards.
Ooh, that'd be cool too. I like that. I like all these options. Biotics are cool. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking like for Infiltrator or something like that. What about a hologram of your character to distract, so you can send the hologram
that's
going
already in Mass
that way?
Effect, Tucker.
That's already an ability.
Is it? Motherfucker.
It's because
never plays Infiltrator.
Yeah, nobody played the Engineer, and that was like an Engineer one.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of fun because like you can like make a hologram of yourself and then like strafe and hop around.
I'm still wanting Kasumi's Shadow Strike to be an ability
I need that
we
to
can
be an
actually
ability.
use.
I need that to be an ability.
Need that.
That's what I was going to be.
I need it.
I
want it.
I need Shadow Strike. I don't want to come up with anything new until they get Shadow Strike in there, and then we can move on.
I feel like Biotics, though, is the one that you can really be creative with, because Biotics is basically Jedi power.
It's basically
it's supposed
space
to be
mages.
something else. What
it is
I don't want to.
Space mages.
I don't want to get into that.
Oh, you
I don't want to get into space magic. No.
Oh, speaking of
Space
Jedi,
magic.
what if you could do something like you make them think that they hear something over there, so you can stealth around,
Like a distract.
Yeah, like throwing your voice.
What was that noise?
Yeah, something like that.
What if you could hide in a box?
Yes, I like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could easily like have your Omni tool chuck something in a different direction, but or you could do it with biotics.
What were those distracting things from Harry Potter? That like you wind up and you put somewhere and it. No,
decoy detonator. You're thinking of the decoy detonator.
Yeah.
And no, Expelliarmus is a different spell. I'm aware of that.
To get rid of someone's wand. If they're like holding their wand, it makes it fly off. But
disarm. Yeah.
Harry Potter knowledge, go.
That's what it was. But the decoy thing. What if you have one of those?
It'd be weird if it was a mouse.
Idea.
What if it was a pijack?
Idea. Ready for this?
As a pijack and goes up and hops into your enemy and starts beating him in the face.
You have a squad mate that has like like they have like a weapon stuff, but they don't have any power abilities or anything like that. But what they do have is like a
So a
pet animal
soldier.
with them.
I think that's getting out of hand.
No,
Like a space,
it'll
like a
work.
space
No,
dog.
'cause- Yeah, so like a Varan. So like they're squad mate. They're going around. They don't have really many powers or abilities.
Or an odd he. That's the Andromeda version. It's an odd he.
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
ad he.
Let's do
One of
that.
those.
Let's make that work.
The mercenary whatnot bad peoples, ruffians, whatchamacallums, have captured Adhi, put some kind of face mask thing on them, and trained them to do their bidding. So I guess that is possible.
All right, one more question.
Sweet.
And this is a kind of a lengthy one to read, but Gidon Kaz's. Yeah.
One
If
of those.
Andromeda takes place before Mass Effect 3, then that means that the Krogan are still infected with the genophage. It seems impractical to let the Krogan, or to allow the Krogan to embark on this journey, not only for their aggression and bitterness, but also because mating would be cumbersome. And since their number is only in the thousands in the game, I'm not sure they can sustain a stable population. How do you think BioWare is going to handle this problem?
I mean, they said they'll cover it, and that will be a big thing. And I remember Walters in, I think it might have been like a Game Informer
It's
thing.
a recent Game Informer thing, yeah.
The recent one where the camera's at a weird, awkward bird's eye angle.
That is
and
a weird
he's on the
angle, isn't
couch.
it?
That is
It was
a very awkward
it was a
angle.
bizarre interview. It was like
was very-
I felt like I was watching a spy camera of Mac Walter's room during that interview. It was so uncomfortable. I couldn't look at the video. I had to turn away.
I know, it was just
That was
weird.
really weird. He was so far up in the corner. It was, but see, what I imagine that room would be for is a group of them in there, maybe doing play testing, and that's one way to play test is have people play test and watch them to see where they look around
Then why
or
did
how
they pick that room
how
for
they
the
react.
interview? They have other rooms.
I have no idea, but that's the only
It was
explanation
weird.
I can come up with. Is maybe that's a playtest room or something where a group meeting would happen.
I
That's
just
the
figured
only
that was
explanation I
like
can
the
think of.
camera that allows him to move around or whatever. But yeah, it was weird. But in that weird interview, he said it would be addressed, right?
But what I was gonna say about that interview is that he talked about how like the races are still bringing along their conflicts into Andromeda, and he kind of teased that the Solarians and the Krogan may have a few things to talk about, and that they might have contributed to that thing called the Nexus uprising.
They're gonna
That
talk
I'll
may-
about
actually,
genophage.
I'll actually have a video on this by the time this comes out, basically about different races and getting together. Goes into what I'm saying is you need to if you need to put together 180,000 people to go on a crazy journey, you're not necessarily getting the best and brightest. You're taking whoever wants to go. So
Well, there's a lot of people
Still-
in the Milky Way galaxy.
still
though.
though, like it's kind of crazy. Anyway,
there's a lot of people
as far
in
as
the Milky
letting
Way
the
galaxy.
Krogan
though.
doing what they want to do, Krogan are going to do what they want to do. You're
Well,
not telling
I mean,
the Krogan that like, it's not going to work for you. They do not care.
The head engineer is a female Krogan, so maybe they're just taking whoever is qualified. Like, there's a Krogan engineer that's in, like, a top position, so the Krogan obviously aren't just brutes that hold guns and beat things up. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Or they're trying to change that perception anyway.
There you go.
All right, cool. We all have YouTube channels where we put out videos.
What?
It's crazy.
What?
What videos have you guys been working on and want to share with the community?
Well, I don't have really any videos currently being planned. I do have a kind of like a nearing Christmas, a thank you for all the subscribers and just kind of going over some details of what's going to be happening with the channel. And I do have an upcoming interview with Aaron Flynn
Sweet.
about
When's
multiplayer.
that Tom
So that's
Taylorson video going to be out?
It was live. It was recorded live, so it's already out
It's
now.
already out.
Whoa!
Whoa. Sorry.
Which I asked BioFan's question.
Yay!
BioFan, what do you got going on?
I just did the largest, heftiest, most densiest analysis ever that I've ever done for the gameplay trailer that's like 23 minutes long. It's gigantic. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Everybody's commenting, oh my god, I never noticed that in there. You have eagle vision and whatnot. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. You should totally check it out. By the time this podcast is out, I will probably have also analyzed the arks and Nexus thing. So that's probably going to be out.
Is there a Quarian in it? I saw a Quarian.
Yes.
I swear
there's a Quarian in it.
I saw it. I saw it. If you squint really hard.
I will go with there's a Quarian. I will fight for those people. I will fight for those people.
I'm going to have to talk a lot about this in that video, aren't I?
No, you do what you want. It's your video.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk about, it's like a I'm going to talk a bit about heading to Andromeda in a video that should be out coming up right before this one. Basically talking about the kind of people that you'll get in Andromeda that are making the trip. I think it's interesting. Hopefully you will too. Drop the deep voice.
Teaser.
Ooh.
All right, I'll take us out then.
Cool.
That's all the nerdiness we've got.
So do you guys
Holy
know that
shit,
Superman's
Tucker.
in Mass Effect?
Oh my fucking god.
I knew he was going to do it. He was quiet for way too long. I knew it was coming.
It's like the third or fourth week in a row that I try to do an outro and you guys just drop in and like completely wreck it.
So you know Superman is in Mass
He's
Effect?
not.
Who?
Yeah, he is. Superman.
No.
This
he's
is
not.
You're fucking with us again. Okay.
No. From Cerberus Daily News. DC-1938, a small guard world circling the red supergiant SM-2183 Rua, exploded today in a rare phenomenon called a core fusion. The planet's uranium core collapsed in on itself, igniting a thermonuclear explosion large enough to rupture the planet into several pieces. The shockwave and loss of atmosphere has reportedly killed more than 5 billion native inhabitants. There is one known survivor, an infant rocketed from the planet in an FTL escape pod picked up by a human cruiser, MSV Kent. The inhabitants of the planet, previously unknown to the galaxy, were a spacefaring race who used crystalline matrices for their computing needs. The infant has been taken to medical facilities in the local cluster, where he is breathing gases in a ratio similar to the atmosphere of his home planet. So with 65% nitrogen, 20% oxygen, and 15% krypton.
They did that little teaser. That Easter eggy kind of thing.
They got away with it just till now because the executives at Warner Brothers watch this podcast. Way to go, Tucker.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, now you guys need to shut up so I can take us out.
All right.
That's all the nerdiness we've got for today. Join us next week as we have a special guest that we don't want to tell you about because I think it's funny. Remember that every time you like and share this video, a space bear finds true love. If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, feel free to email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions may be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-hosts, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels.
Bye, everyone.
In our
it was, but now it's going to sound super awkward on the podcast.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, screw the podcast. It's not important.